From the Guardians of the Galaxy saga receiving mixed reviews, to fans absolutely hating the villain with a passion, these are fan reactions to Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3.
This Cheers, Sam and Diane, guy and a girl on a TV show, dig each other but never say it because if they do the ratings would go down sort of thing.
There's no unspoken thing.
After its release on May 5th, reactions came flooding in, and fans wanted to let the world know what they thought. James Gunn's trilogy has finally come to a close, and they did it in classic MCU style, going out in a blaze of glory. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 took the top spot at the domestic box office during opening weekend, raking in $118.4 million. Those numbers speak for themselves, and clearly prove that fans were digging the franchise's third installment. Many took to Twitter and praised producers, saying that they couldn't have done a better job no matter how hard they tried. According to viewers, Volume 3 had epic action sequences, absolutely wonderful character arcs, and a villain like no other. Others called it a love letter, a tribute to friends and the joy they shared. One Twitter user described it as an emotional, action-packed roller coaster. But did you really expect anything else from the MCU?
What's the nearest habitable planet?
It's called Bearheart.
How many jumps?
Only one, but the access point is 47 clicks away. And you have to go through that quantum asteroid field.
As it turns out though, some fans were expecting something different, and while they enjoyed the movie, they still think producers could have added more weight and depth to certain scenes. If you look at the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, it's clear that Volume 3 wasn't better than the previous installments. On Twitter, one fan named Robert Daniels gave a sarcastic comment saying Volume 3 was something. He says the movie was weird and that it was all over the place, but that's not all. Another Twitter user at Charles Pulliam had an interesting take on the whole thing. Charles says fans were expecting the latest volume in the Guardians saga to have the thrills and insanity of Avengers Endgame, and feels fans were wrong to have such false expectations. I don't know about you, but Cap saying Avengers Assemble still makes me tear up a little. One thing that had some really fun reviews though was the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer. In the first trailer, Peter Quill and Gamora have a hilarious encounter that had fans laughing out loud, and our band of misfits deals with the consequences of Rocket's violent past, but Star-Lord's problems in the love department were still ongoing. During Thanos' reign of terror, Quill lost Gamora, the love of his life, but she came back in Avengers Endgame. So now you're probably expecting the perfect fairy tale ending, right? Well, not so fast because things have changed. Quill was hoping to pick things up where they left off, but Gamora isn't interested, doesn't remember him anymore, and even calls him Peter Quill for crying out loud. Fans obviously picked up on this in the trailer, and they couldn't wait to see the storyline play out. They were moved by Peter's attempts to win Gamora back, with one fan saying, "You really can't help but feel for the man." Audiences went absolutely bonkers over the trailer, and one Twitter user said, "This made me laugh out loud." And let me tell you guys, many people completely agreed with him. Mantis's hello had people laughing until their stomachs hurt. So if you guys haven't watched the movie yet, you better join in on all the fun. The Guardians of the Galaxy fan base notices everything.
The entire planet will explode. We'll have to get out of here fast. I rigged the timer. Go!
And they loved to see the new and improved Nebula, who was completely different than what they'd seen before. Another viewer pointed out how Drax did such a great job teaching Mantis the art of standing incredibly still. Even Gamora didn't notice she was there the entire time. So I guess let the meme games begin once again, right? But I gotta warn you, it's not all fun and games this time around. Volume 3 has moments that'll have you scrambling for tissues. A fan wrote on Twitter that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 had him wiping his eyes twice. The production that marks the end of the Gunn era has managed to go toe-to-toe with the mightiest of the MCU, and by that I obviously mean Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. Yep, this little bad boy has climbed up to the top 3 Marvel releases as far as box office numbers go. This time around, they venture to the sentimental side of Thor's favorite rabbit, Rocket, and the fans have loved every minute of it. Granted, they wept alongside the raccoon, but they wouldn't have it any other way. Our little guy's story had so much depth, and it resonated with fans on such a level that viewers started to view the entire production in a completely different light. Did you know that PETA tagged Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as the best movie on animal rights? The People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals called the film an animal rights masterpiece and said, "It sends viewers on an emotional roller coaster while exposing the evils of animal testing." Bet you didn't see that one coming. That means that the movie has made a profound impact.
I would be honored Yes, in the name of research. I think that could be pretty repulsive. I'm not into that kind of casual...
Oh, please. Your people promised something in exchange for our services.
The movie's getting reviews like a triumphant, beautiful closer for a team that everyone's grown so fond of. The biggest threat to animals in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is without a doubt High Evolutionary, the trilogy's greatest villain. The torture he puts our furry little creatures through is horrific. He experiments on different creatures, torturing and destroying them, just to put them back together again, all for his own twisted goals. He kept Rocket in a cage with 3 of his other experiments, Lila, Teefs, and Floor, while he went ahead with his hunt for the perfect species. PETA explained that James Gunn's screenplay doesn't shy away from the cruel reality, so they're thrilled by a story that talks about having empathy for all living things, and fans completely agree. I never thought I'd see PETA as a Marvel fan, but here we are. Viewers were mesmerized by the compelling portrayal of Rocket and his friends, how they all plot their escape and enjoy their life on Counter-Earth while becoming close friends. But Rocket finds out soon enough that they were never intended to be used for anything other than for testing, and that High Evolutionary had instructed that they all be burnt once he was finished with them. The movie also went out of its way to remind everyone that animals tortured in laboratories are creatures that feel every prick and probe, and they're more than just the serial numbers tattooed on their skin. The intense storytelling and near-perfect execution of the entire production sent a clear message, and that's why PETA honored Gunn with the Not a Number award. But let's dig a little deeper into the dark side for a bit. Did the MCU actually produce a villain that no one likes? Marvel bad guys have a way of finding a soft spot in our hearts, but it seems the saga has come to an end with the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, and High Evolutionary, played by the incredible Chukwudi Iwuji, is someone you can't help but hate. He's basically an evil mad scientist who thinks he can create the perfect species because he hates the ones that exist already. Fans have made it clear that there are bad guys that you understand, like Thanos, who spoke in a way that made terrifying sense, or how Loki's devil-may-care attitude might have earned him a bad rep, but it also made them an iconic part of the MCU that you just couldn't help but love. But High Evolutionary? Zip. Nothing. No redeeming qualities. The guy's just pure evil, and the votes confirming his wrongdoings are unanimous. Fans see him as a man who would kill anything that gets in his way. He has no endgame and doesn't have a big picture mindset. The people have spoken, and he's officially the most hated, despicable piece of villain ever. Chukwudi Iwuji is a genius when it comes to making people despise him with every fiber of their being. So, from fans absolutely hating the villain with a passion to the Guardians of the Galaxy saga receiving mixed reviews, those were fan reactions to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.